Okay, so the best way to learn is to teach. So I'm gonna go over what I learned in home electrical work class last night in order to help me better remember everything. And I should probably do this with books I read and other classes to take in the future, especially college courses, because it really helps to articulate something in your own words, because that improves your ability to remember the information. There's like a 89% retention rate for things that you write or speak about after learning about them. But if you only listen to something, it's about a 10% retention rate. Taking notes increases it to a 30 or 40% retention rate. But for that 90% retention rate, you need to write about or speak about what you learned. All right, so the 6 step rule. So if you have more than 6 steps and you have like something like a split level house, you need a three-way switch at the top and the bottom of the stairs. Every house needs 2 outside receptacles, one out front and one out back, and one has to be within 25 feet of any air conditioning compressor. So for garage receptacles, nowadays if it's a two car garage, you need 2 receptacles. Minimum of 2 receptacles. A 1 car garage, you need a minimum of 1 receptacle. It used to be if you had a 2 car garage, you only need a minimum of 1, but now for 2 car garages, you need a minimum of 2 receptacles. Let's see. Ground fault receptacles. So GFIs or GFCIs, ground fault interceptors. Every countertop receptacle needs a ground fault interceptor, a GFI, or you can just say ground fault to be brief. But a ground fault is actually what you're preventing with a GFI. But sometimes you'll just call the thing that prevents the ground fault a ground fault instead of calling it a GFI or GFCI because it's a mouthful. So your black wires are your hot wires, your white wires are your neutral wires, and ground wires tend to be just plain copper and are often covered in paper that you have to tear off after you unsheath the wire, strip the wire. So anyway, GFIs, what they do to prevent fires and to prevent people from getting electrocuted is they electronically measure usage that comes in and out. So if the amount of electricity going in does not meet the amount of electricity going out, it flips the circuit breaker. Most times when you flip a circuit breaker, it's because you don't have the proper you're running too many things at once, it's taking up too much electricity, and you don't have the proper wiring to provide enough electrical power for everything you have plugged in. And there are 2 types of wires. Number 14 provides 15 amps of power. I think it's amps, not watts. I'm not sure. I have to go over that. And number 14 provides 20. So a number 14 wire, a number 12 wire carries more electricity than a number 14. So you need GFIs in each bedroom. Oh no, it is actually okay for fire alarms. You need 1 in each bedroom, and you need 1 no further from 10 feet out from the bedroom door, and it needs to be hardwired and have a backup battery as well. So it needs to be hardwired into the house so that it gets electricity from the house. And in case you lose electricity, it also needs batteries. I think this means for the common areas, you need, in addition to having 1 in each bedroom, you need 1 that is no further than 10 feet from the bedroom door. I have to go over that. I don't quite understand that. I'm going to circle that and ask my teacher to clarify that in my next class because I don't entirely understand. Let's see. I'm not entirely sure, honestly, what a receptacle is, but I can Google that. I missed the first class, so I'm behind. So, a question to mark in red the things I don't understand. I have to go over with my teacher next class. So you need at least one, well, located in each basement. Is this for GFIs or for fire alarms? Yeah, this is the fire alarm. Yeah, it's fire alarm. Alright, so you need fire alarms on every floor that has a bedroom, and I think you need one on each level, even if they don't have bedrooms. Or do you need them on levels that don't have bedrooms? I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, fire alarms. I might be confusing carbon monoxide detectors with fire alarms. Do you need one on every floor, or just floors with bedrooms? He clarified that for me last night, but I forget. So I got two questions now. So I think, okay, you need one on each floor, including the basement. So you need a fire alarm in the basement as well. And you need one in the attic if you have real stairs to the attic, but not if you have pull down stairs. You also need one within 2 feet of the highest point of the house if you have a V-shaped house. Or if you have V-shaped ceiling in your a V-shaped ceiling for your bedroom, and if you have a V-shaped roof, I suppose, in the attic, you need it 2 feet in no further than 2 feet from the highest point of the house. So I guess this would usually be the attic. We'll clarify that with them. Usually be the attic. At least 3 feet away from feed and returns for ducts if you have central air, because the feed and returns, they tend to push away the smoke or suck in the smoke, so the fire detector won't go off even during a fire if you have central air going on. So you want to keep the fire alarms at least 3 feet away from any feeds or any returns for your central air. So anyway, the best place for fire alarm in a bedroom is right above the bedroom door. And you want at least 12 inches away from the ceiling or the wall. Because in the corner of a room, we call it a smoke shelf, right here. You wouldn't put a fire alarm right here. You want at least 12 inches away, because smoke tends to dissipate away from corners. So you want at least 12 inches this way. If you're having the ceiling, 12 inches that way. This house isn't up to code that I'm in. This doesn't have a fire alarm. So technically, this is violating code. If we tried to sell a house, we'd have to install fire alarms everywhere in every bedroom, but we don't have them. So this isn't up to code at all. I guess I could get up to code myself. Let's see. So a lot of times, you don't have to worry about being up to code unless you're selling the house, or if you have a fire and the fire company comes. If they see you're not up to code, then they're gonna force you to be up to code, and to install fire alarms where they belong. So So anytime you sell a house, they ensure it's up to code for not only electrical issues but all sorts of other regulations for houses. So house building is highly regulated, how it has to be done. That's why a bad construction worker, a bad electrician can screw stuff up really bad, because you might build something that's not up to code, and then everything has to be rewired because it's not properly wired up to code.